What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update, and really good news that we've had over the last 24 hours. Number one, Mitch McConnell says a stimulus deal, a stimulus package is coming within the next 9 days. With the government shutdown bill will be stimulus, and Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden say that there will be stimulus checks. I'm going to give you all the details of it in this video. But first, make sure you're subscribed down below with the bell icon on so you don't miss out on new information. We're going to have a lot of breaking details coming out over the next several days, over the next few days, as they work out the details of the stimulus check, the unemployment check, and everything that is going to come with this stimulus package before December 11th, which is when the government will shut down, and they need to pass this stimulus package before then. Stimulus package and a government shutdown bill combined before December 11th. I'm going to be bringing you all the details of it every single day. New videos at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're not going to want to miss the next few days as all these breaking details come out. Also, don't forget to like this video, and let's jump into the details. Also, at the end of this video, I have another stimulus check that's approved right now for certain people, as I'm bringing you different states and cities that are passing stimulus right now, as we're also working out the details of the federal stimulus check coming from Congress. So make sure you watch all the way to the end so you don't miss out on the details. First up, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who is the leader of the Republicans in the Senate, says that they will be attaching a stimulus bill, a stimulus package, to the government shutdown bill that needs to be passed before December 11th, so literally within the next 9 days. But they really need to get that done before then, because on December 11th is when the government shuts down, so they'll probably have to pass this before the 10th or even a few days before. So why is this really good news? Because this basically means that they have to iron out the details of the next stimulus package, the next stimulus check, the next unemployment checks that are going to be in the package. They have to iron out all the details of this within the next 7 to 8 days, because the government will shut down. They don't want the government to shut down, and they want to attach a stimulus package to the government shutdown bill that will prevent the government from shutting down. So that's really good news, because that forces them to get a stimulus deal done within the next 7 to 8 days. Next up, the Democrats, which is headed by Joe Biden. Even though he's not in office yet, he's considered the leader of the Democrats. He has appointed a new economic team that is urging them to pass stimulus quickly, and that they want to focus on money for families, which is basically stimulus checks, unemployment checks, and mortgage and rental relief. In addition to that, we know that Nancy Pelosi will not agree to any bill that doesn't have stimulus checks in there. And we've already seen the proposal from the Republican side of at least $300 per week unemployment extension. So it's likely that Nancy Pelosi will negotiate stimulus checks and an unemployment extension of probably $400 to $450 per week. In addition to that, Joe Biden says that passing a stimulus package and a stimulus check now before the end of the year is a good start, but they will need to do more after the beginning of the year, which basically means another stimulus package, another stimulus check, when the new Congress comes in and the new Biden administration comes in at the end of January. This is what they've been saying all along, but we're now starting to see it materialize. This is really good news, because this will mean 2 stimulus packages, one now to get us through the next 2 to 3 months and get us through the end of the year, and then another one at the end of January to basically get us through the next few months in 2021, to get us through the vaccine time, where basically the majority of Americans will start to receive their vaccines in February, March, and April. There'll be some people that get them before, but it'll only be for select people, which is basically frontline workers, hospital workers, and the elderly and the high-risk people that are most susceptible to falling to the virus. Those people are going to get the vaccines first, and basically all the other people are going to have to wait, and we're going to need economic stimulus to get us through then. And honestly, what almost every economist said is we're going to really need a boost or stimulus boost to get us through all of 2021, because even when people get vaccines, let's just say half the country has vaccines, because honestly, there's about a third of people that don't want to take the vaccines at all. So even when the majority of people get the vaccines, there's still going to be a lot of people that are not going to rush back to going out to eat, to flying on airplanes, to getting on cruise ships, to going on vacations and staying in hotels and going to baseball games and football games with tens of thousands of people. All that stuff is not just going to immediately, with the snap of a finger, go back to normal. And it's likely going to take us 24 months, a year to 2 years to get us back to normal. And what is going to help us through that time is these stimulus packages that they're trying to pass, one now before the end of the year and another one again in January of 2020. And this is basically what Joe Biden and the Democrats are saying, that a stimulus package passed now is just a start, but is what needs to be done for the time being. And just a start means the first of at least one more stimulus packages coming again in 2021. Joe Biden said he approved of providing immediate relief to Americans before he takes office, but added additional aid would be needed. He called on Congress to, quote, come together and pass a robust package now, but said, quote, any package passed in the lame duck session is at best just a start. Now, regarding President Donald Trump, based on what he has said in the recent past and his views on stimulus, I don't see any bill at all that passes both the House and the Senate and makes it to President Donald Trump's desk before next year. I see any single bill that makes it to President Trump, him signing. He has said just in the past week or so that he was in favor of passing a large stimulus package. There's no way that he will veto any stimulus bill. In fact, there's already rumors that basically on Inauguration Day, when Joe Biden comes in, of course, barring, a miracle happening on the Trump legal team, that President Donald Trump may actually start his 2024 re-election campaign the day that Biden comes in. So President Donald Trump is going to want to put his best foot forward for pretty much everything going out. That's basically the vaccine. He wants to get all the credit for the vaccine. He wants to make sure that the Biden administration doesn't get any credit for the vaccine, and he wants to pass stimulus on the way out, because then he can kind of really take credit for the recovery as we come out of the virus. Everybody gets vaccinated, or at least those who will want to take it. He can kind of take credit for this. Say, hey, listen, I'm the one that passed the vaccine. I'm the one that passed the stimulus on the way out. So, vote for me in 2024. Now, I'm not saying I'm a Republican or a Democrat and that's what you should do, but that's what President Donald Trump is going to say. He's already said that he should get all the credits for the vaccine and helping these companies along and getting them funding of billions and billions of dollars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And then Biden and the Biden administration shouldn't get any credit for it, because nothing happened under their watch. Okay. So this is what Trump will say going forward, which is exactly why he will accept and he will sign any stimulus deal that makes it to him. Will be a done deal. I honestly don't think there's anything at all that you should worry about President Donald Trump not signing a stimulus package. That's like 99.9999% certainty. Okay, nothing's 100% certainty in this world. So, I mean, you could take the vaccine and become a zombie. I mean, right? So, I wouldn't worry about President Donald Trump not signing the bill. What I would worry about is Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi coming to the agreement, because honestly, that's what's going to happen. This bill that Mitch McConnell is going to unveil and this bill that Nancy Pelosi is going to unveil, it's likely not going to be either one of those. The real thing is going to happen is going to be two ways. Number one is that Nancy Pelosi and Mitch are going to come to a middle ground agreement. Number two is that middle ground agreement could come between Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin. They all of a sudden, just yesterday, out of the blue, started talking again and had another call on stimulus. This is the first call that they've had since the election. Steve Mnuchin has been out since then. All of a sudden, out of the blue, the White House calls him back in and says, hey, go talk with Nancy Pelosi and let's get a stimulus deal done, before the government shutdown date of December 11th. So all of a sudden, Steve Mnuchin's back in play, talking with Nancy Pelosi, and they know they have a deadline now this time of basically 8 to 9 days from now. They have to pass this stimulus with the government shutdown bill by December 11th. So Nancy Pelosi is going to have to get off her high horse. Mitch McConnell is going to have to not be the Grinch of Christmas. Everybody says they want a stimulus deal. Biden administration's pushing for it. President Donald Trump wants it. There's no more political agendas because the election is over. So now is the time to do it. Everybody says they want it. They just need to come to a deal. Honestly, I think that it should be a mostly Democratic bill. Again, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, but here's why. The Democrats can pass a bill completely on their own in the House. They only need 12 senators in from the Republicans in the Senate to pass a bill. President Donald Trump will pass any stimulus bill. Okay. So the bill should probably lean a little bit to the Democratic side because we need all the Democrats and only 12 Republican senators. There's about 15 Republican senators that will probably pass any stimulus bill under $2 trillion. So if the bill comes in around 1.5 trillion, 1.8 trillion, especially if they use this $800 billion that they have sitting around from the previous stimulus packages and say, hey, listen, we could just make a $1 trillion bill and here's an extra 800 billion that's just sitting around. We can use that and we have a $1 trillion bill, which would make the Republicans happy, but really it's 1.8 trillion, which would make the Democrats happy. And honestly, the Democrats are going to be the one that gives you the stimulus check. For some reason, we get these Republicans that want to give money to small businesses and vaccines, and they don't want to include a stimulus check. That's not what anybody needs, okay? So the Democrats are not going to pass that. They're not going to let it fly without a stimulus check and an unemployment benefits of at least $300 per week with retroactive. Those are pretty much the two non-negotiators, the two non-starters for the Democrats. So of course, they have a bunch of other things that they want to throw in there that kind of have nothing to do with stimulus, but that's really not the important. The other thing I do want to kind of say that is important on the Democratic side is the money for states and cities. But I kind of feel like the tide has turned a little bit about that. And I don't think that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats will be insisting on getting $400 or $500 billion for states and cities right now, because again, they want to pass another package in January. So I kind of think that they'll be willing to maybe take $200 billion for states and cities. And honestly, that's a good thing because we're now seeing these states and cities giving money back to their residents. I mean, I've covered dozens and dozens of states now that are giving money to their residents in the form of stimulus checks, in the form of mortgage and rental assistance checks, in the form of gift cards for local businesses and for groceries. And we're seeing all these states and cities pass different stimulus packages with that money that they got from previous stimulus packages. They got billions and billions of dollars, and now they're giving some of that back to the people. So if states and cities get more money, that'll just mean in the end, more money for you guys. It won't be all of it, but a certain portion of it will come back. I mean, we've seen how many states now that are giving out $5,000 in mortgage and rental relief and then we covered one yesterday that was Daytona Beach, Florida was doing $4,500, 3 payments of $1,500. We're seeing all these new programs come out every single day. I had a video that covered all the states and cities. I'll link it to you at the end of this video with all the previous ones, but let me give you a new one right now. And that is the city of Houston, Texas is considering a one-time $1,200 stimulus payment or stimulus check to over 23,000 households in Houston, Texas. The proposal was on the city council's meeting yesterday, and it would move up to $30 million of CARES Act money, which is the previous stimulus package, into the accounts of residents from Houston. The city says the program is necessary to help those who are, quote, experiencing financial hardship due to the pandemic and its secondary effects. This one has not passed yet, but honestly, I've been seeing that almost all of these pass. The vast majority of these states and cities, if they know they have the money, then they pass it. I mean, if they don't have the money, they pretty much don't consider it to begin with. So I will keep you updated on that and other states and cities that are passing stimulus checks like this, in addition to Congress. If you know of any states, cities in your local area that are passing either stimulus checks or mortgage and rental assistance, comment them down below so our viewers can read them. And if I see one, I will cover it in an upcoming video. If you see one, give that comment a thumbs up so it rises to the top. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video so others like you will know what is going on with the large stimulus package and the state and local stimulus packages to get the word out. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this bottom video is all the states and cities that have recently passed stimulus. This video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.